Hello and welcome to the Monthly Marquee. I'm your host, Bart Levins, Director of the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. Our first guest is also our Student PAC Spotlight, Mr. Ethan Gross, who's appearing as Chip this month in our Pro-Am production of Beauty and the Beast. Ethan, it's so good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, too.
We've had a fun morning, haven't we?
Very much.
Skaggs Limousine, our first limousine ride for you?
Well...
No, this is your second limousine.
Yeah, second.
You did, what was it you said with Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. It was like an advertisement, so...
Very cool, very cool. So, you are playing Chip.
Yes.
In Beauty and the Beast right now. And how is this experience going for you? What's unique about this role that you're playing that's different than other things you've done?
I've said this all the time to my parents before. I've always wanted to play a puppet, so this is my first show playing a puppet.
Wow.
So that's very exciting.
And the puppet was a long time coming. We didn't really have it when we first got started. So,
yeah.
And it went through a couple of changes.
Very much.
How's it working out for you now?
Pretty good. There's only one song that's like Human Again, figuring that out still, but pretty cool.
And for now, our audience may be a little confused because you and I understand what we're talking about. But if someone's asking, so you're not in the show, you're operating a puppet?
I am in the show technically.
Explain more.
So the puppet is a character, but I'm also still there as a character too. The puppet is just more focused on the puppet, and then after, when we do our transformation, that's when I come out.
Yeah.
I'm still in the show. It's just people mainly focus on the puppet.
And I've been telling people it's kind of like Lion King, or as Zach over at Cameo said, like Avenue Q.
Yeah.
You see the actor the whole time. And Allison, the costumer, and I came up with an idea for the costumes where it's like you're like all of the enchanted staff at the castle are like a shadow of their former selves. It's like everything's kind of fading away kind of thing as they become more and more like an object. And I understand from Allison, you're pretty excited about your costumes.
Very much.
What do you like about them?
I would say the vest, like it's so cool, and like the way it's built, and there's like no back in it. I just love it for some reason. I just feel so attached to it.
That's so funny. Now, you and I were talking before, too. You're at Hardin County School Online Academy.
Yes.
And I think that's unique for a gentleman your age. What led to that decision?
Wanting to focus on my career for acting, singing, and dancing. That's mainly it.
And some people now are going, he's 13 years old.
Yeah.
What do you mean your career as an actor?
I would say I've already started my career because I've been in theater for so long. Like 6 years, I would say. And I feel like that was a good range to say I've started my career as an actor, and that's what I mean by a career.
And how have you prepared for a career as an actor? What kind of things have you done locally that would help you toward this?
I've stuck with a group called Allegro Dance Theater, and they've helped me reach my goals. Now I'm starting to do more Pro-Am stuff like Beauty and the Beast. So, yeah.
And youth theater?
Yeah, youth theater.
So did you just jump into all these things and just have natural talent, or did you have to like really work hard on things?
I would say partly it just came to me, and then I mainly learned from Miss Carol and all the great people who've taught me.
What's been the most difficult thing for you?
I would say getting used to new styles of dance, because I started doing tap recently, and that's different.
It's very different from ballet and stuff. Yeah. So what dances, what styles of dance have you been studying?
I've been wanting to do ballet, but I'm not really into that just yet. I started tap, and I'm right now just doing musical theater.
Gotcha. And you're getting ready to start taking voice lessons.
Yes.
We talked about that. And that was another reason to do Online Academy, to make time for all of these classes and stuff that you're doing to prepare yourself.
Yeah.
Now, for other students that are your age or maybe younger, what would you say if they're interested in doing this? How do they get involved? How do they get started? What do they do if they're scared?
I would say just go for it, because really, as soon as you're done, you'll be proud of yourself. You'll be so happy you did it. And if you didn't, you would regret not being able to be in that, because it's just so fun.
And what are some of the most rewarding experiences you've had doing all of this kind of stuff?
I would say Beauty and the Beast, because I'm my first puppet show.
Yeah.
And then Mary Poppins, because that was my first ever show, like full-on show.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what is it that you enjoy about all this?
It's just something I've wanted to do for so long. Being able to dance for people, being able to show my talents, and on a stage, just.
Well, cool. What do you think people are going to take away from Beauty and the Beast?
I mean, the true story of like how looks don't define everything. So, that's the main thing I would say.
I think that sums it up pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thank you very much, and we will see you on stage as Chip and your Chip puppet in Beauty and the Beast later this month. Thank you, Ethan.
You're welcome.
We're back with my co-host, Ethan Gross, also our student spotlight, and we're here to interview our adult spotlight. Please welcome Joseph Mattingly, who is playing the Beast in this month's production of the Pac Pro-Am show, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Joseph, so good to see you, sir. Thank you for doing this today.
Good to be here.
We got to get you out of here because you got to head to class at UK.
I do. Yep.
Tell us just a little bit about where you are in your career at this moment.
Well, I'm still in school at UK. I was doing vocal performance to work on my voice because I could not sing before college at all. So,
Really?
yeah, and so there's been a drastic change. I'm still working on everything, but you know, I think I've stopped doing vocal performance now though, and I've switched over to theater because that's my main focus. I want to make a career out of doing theater on stage because I just love it so much.
And in fact, you're headed back for a stagecraft class that you have to get
set
back
design,
to.
yeah. Which will be fun. All those theater classes are fun.
Yeah.
But
Well, and what would we were on radio earlier today, and one of the interviewers said, "I recognize. How would I recognize? What would people maybe recognize you from?"
they'd recognize me from the Stephen Foster story in Bardstown, which everyone knows about that who's local.
And what were you doing in that this last
I
summer?
was playing Dudley Morton, the mustache man.
The mustache man.
Although I could not grow a mustache
So-
for the role, so they just kind of painted it on there.
Oh, it was painted on.
Yeah.
How funny.
Which, you know, you think it'd like maybe sweat off or something.
Yeah.
It did not. So I felt a little unqualified for the role, but
Because of that.
it worked. Yeah. They're like, "Can you grow a mustache?" I was like, "Yeah, I can." And 2 weeks later, I was like, "No, I can't." Is that going to be a problem? I was like, "No, it's fine." So, luckily, that didn't count me out.
And where are you going to school?
UK.
UK. You were at Campbellsville.
I
Now
was
you're
at Campbellsville for 2 years. I studied with Juliana Moore, and for my voice teacher, and now I went over to UK, just a bigger school, and it has a little more to offer. I do miss Campbellsville a lot.
It's a wonderful campus.
Example, their men's choir was only about 10 people, where at UK it was 100. So
Yeah.
which was an amazing,
It's a big
difference.
leap.
Yeah.
It's a big leap.
It's pretty cool.
We were talking earlier, and it's that we all have to make these leaps in our life, from elementary school to middle school to high school to college to bigger college to career, and it's how we deal with those leaps in life that help us get through the next leap. I lost the question I was going to ask you. Ethan, did you have something you wanted to ask Joseph?
What is it like being a professional actor?
Well, it's great. No, well, I think of myself as a professional actor now, just because I've done, a couple
You've been
of
paid.
professional. Yeah, I'm being paid, which is nice to have after, doing it for so many years, just at community theaters.
Yeah.
So, it's better to be paid while acting, just to be upfront about it. But yeah, other than that, nothing's really changed much.
Do you have any long-term goals as far as performing?
I mean, I'd like to go to New York and try to see what I can do out there, just see what opportunities open up for me. But if I can just find a theater where I can, with a great group of people that I like, and can still support myself, then that would probably be where I stay.
Yeah, I hear
Just
you.
anywhere I can feel like I belong.
Exactly. No, and
So.
don't you think that's a great part of theater? Is one of my catchphrases that I say a lot is, we're born into a biological family, and we don't have any choice about that. And we love these people. They're part of our lives. They always will be. But then at some point in our lives, we find our logical family, which are those people with shared interests and shared passions and stuff. And those are the friends and relationships that get you through all of those big leaps and stuff. Yeah. Do you have anything else you wanted to ask Joseph?
What do you think you're strongest in? Like singing, dancing?
Definitely singing. I would like to be a better dancer. I've took, tap and ballroom, but I haven't, got to do as much as I want. It would be nice to be like a triple threat, singing, dancing, and acting. But for now, I'm just definitely a singer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think, and that's something for you to think about at this age is, if you're a triple threat, you're definitely more marketable. So the more you can learn now, the better off you'll be later, which is education in general, I guess. Yeah. What do you think people are going to take away from the show? I was asking Ethan this question earlier.
Just how great of an actor I am. I just hope they get a magical experience with the show. I think it's going to be a great show, and there's going to be so much technically happening.
It's
for the
very
show
visually
it's
stimulating.
It's going to be great, and the puppets are going to add so much to it. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah,
I was telling someone, and they were like, "Well, would my 4-year-old enjoy it?" I said, "Definitely, because it's constant movement. It's not a show where someone stands in the middle of the stage and sings for 3 minutes an aria or something. No, this thing keeps going and going and going.
And everyone in the cast is so great. And
Strong cast.
Very strong cast. Yeah. Even Ethan's doing
a
well job.
Yeah.
Good job.
You were talking earlier. We were sharing about the puppets when I was talking to Ethan, and you're working with a mask. Is this your first masked role?
Yes. I've done shows where I've had a beard on,
Gotcha.
but not the same thing. This is covering, all the way down to my lips. So it is very different. You have to think about your movements more because you can't convey it with your
eyes.
Your
when
eyes,
you lose your eyes, you think
eyebrows.
about how important your eyes are to convey emotion, and to take that away.
Yes. So it's definitely a challenge, but I think it'll work out fine. Yeah.
I love what you're doing with the role, and I think it projects to the audience as well. And I really like the chemistry and the relationship that you've built, not only with the other Enchanted characters, but with Belle. I think the Beast-Belle relationship is really and truly the core of the show, and it really comes out strong. A lot of fun.
Yes.
And we hope everyone has a lot of fun when they come and see the show.
Yes.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Next up on the Monthly Marquee, please welcome Aaron Taylor, director at Hardin County Playhouse's production of The Haunting of Hill House. Did I get that title right?
That's it, yeah.
I keep getting it confused with other...
House on Haunted Hill.
Yes.
I get that one a lot. Yeah, the Vincent Price movie. I don't know, and they came out, the original movies were like similar, same time frame-ish, I think. So, yeah, I mentioned the show to somebody, and that was, I love Vincent Price.
Right.
And I'm like, well, great, but it's nothing to do with this show. Not at all. But that way, if it sells a ticket, come on. Yeah, Vincent Price will be there in person.
No, not so much.
No.
Hey, Ethan, do you have any questions?
What's up, Ethan?
Do you know each other? Have you met?
Ethan's
Yes,
my
very
monster
much.
under the bed.
How do you know Aaron Taylor?
Youth theater. One of my best interactions was me asking him who's going to be on the monster under the bed in Addams Family, and he just gave me the role. I was small enough, so.
You fit. You fit
He
the role.
He fit the costume. The bed. The bed was the costume.
That's how it works sometimes,
Yeah.
man.
But Ethan's been knocking around the pack for years now,
Very
man.
much.
Yeah, since he was tall as Bart.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we were sharing earlier, he's found out that I'm about as tall as he is going to get.
Own it.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Own it. Every bit of it. We all have to deal with what we're given.
It's part of our instrument.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Put it in your toolbox. Use it.
What do you want to ask Aaron?
What is the show about?
That's a great question, Ethan. Haunting of Hill House is based on the original Shirley Jackson novel, The Haunting of Hill House, that came out in, I want to say, 1959. And it is what you would describe as a gothic horror, which means big, spooky old houses, lots of creaking noises. The show, well, it's in the title, The Haunting of Hill House. Basically what happens is a doctor, Dr. Montague, brings in these 3 test subjects that are psychically receptive. One of them has ESP. One of them had like rocks rain on her house when she was a kid. And one of them, his aunt owns the house. So he brings these 3 test subjects in with the intent of seeing what is really going on with this house. The house has had a lot of owners. The house has had a lot of people live there. And most of them either have died mysteriously or they stay very little time and then they're out of there. And they always make excuses like, well, I can't, bad water, I got to go, I can't stay. So they're there to determine what is up with the house. And as they say in the play, some houses are just born bad.
What's the most important thing when you're directing horror?
Timing. See what I did?
I did that.
That's the only bit I worked on the way over here. It is. It's all about timing and suspense. Now, you could take a show like this and you can just constantly ratchet and ratchet down, more suspense, until your audience is just exhausted. But you've got to put a little bit of comedy, a little bit of relief in there to let the steam valve off, or else everything's going to explode. So we've got a lot of surprises. We've got ways to affect the audience and how they're feeling. It's just an exciting show. We just worked last night with all of my ghosts. We put them in the show. They're going to be pretty darn creepy. A lot going on with them. It's a blast. It's going to be a ton of fun, ton of scares.
Now he's got me nervous about it. Now I'm getting stressed. So, what's age appropriate level for this?
Well, I'll tell you this: there is absolutely zero blood.
Okay.
You're not going to see blood. You're not going to see limbs hacked off like you would with like a slasher. As a lifelong horror fan, I take my horror like my pizza. There's no bad pizza, just different. I like horrors that are all blood and guts, and I like horrors that are that creeping dread, that feeling of, so I would say, age-wise, it's appropriate. I would say 10, 12 on up. Now, some of your younger viewers might find it a little boring because of all the talking, which is why we try and up it, the suspense, and keep things moving. They might find that it, crazy kids raised on TikTok and YouTube might find that it drags on a little, but that's just part of that build, part of that raising the stakes, raising the tension. So age-wise, across the board.
Gotcha.
They're going to get scared.
Yeah.
They're going to scream, maybe. That's fine. But there's no real bad language. There's nothing like that going on. So.
Well, and I know that you have sold-out performances over at Bethlehem Academy, but you still have tickets available for the production as it'll be at the Science Auditorium at HCEC-TV.
Right. The Bethlehem Academy shows are amazing and a fantastic opportunity. But that's just a small slice. I mean, we're still doing our straight-up 2-week run at the Science Auditorium at HCEC, October 7th through the 9th, and then 13th through the 16th. So that's the meat of our run, and that's where we're really focusing everything. The shows that are going to happen at Bethlehem Academy, is it happening in an actual haunted house? Yes. Does that up the creepiness? A little bit, but you're still going to be really creeped out when you come to ECTC. Like I said, we've got a lot of nice tricks in store to, as soon as you get there, you're in Hill House. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be tense.
And how can people get tickets?
They can get tickets by going to the website, HardinCountyPlayhouse.com.
Ooh, that was magical.
Ron just did that. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, HardinCountyPlayhouse.com. Tickets available, all the shows, as far as I know, other than the Bethlehem Academy. We're very fortunate. We sold out there really fast.
Thank you so much, Aaron. We're really looking forward to this.
Oh, me too. I can't wait. I want to see what happens with it. It's in progress. We'll see.
Our next guest is Carmen Caldera-Bratska with the Elizabethtown Independent School System. Carmen, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Now, I was about to give your title with the school system,
right?
But that's actually changed.
It has changed. I am Director of Arts for the Elizabethtown School District now, along with being Director of the Performing Arts Center.
And what all does that entail? That sounds huge to wrap your hands around to me.
It is, and I just started this new position July 1st, so lots of trying to figure out. But at the core, the goal is to elevate the arts in the Elizabethtown School District, to be sure that every student from pre-K through 12 has an opportunity to not just be exposed, but to have a hands-on opportunity in theater and music and dance and everything.
And visual art, yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Not that all of that's going to happen this year, but that is, that's the goal I'm working towards.
Excellent. Yeah. Ethan, did you have a question for Carmen?
So what is your role in Haunting of the Hill House?
Oh, well, you jumped right to the meat of the interview, didn't you?
Yes.
I've been very curious.
I am Mrs. Montague. I am Dr. Montague's wife, who comes in along with her friend Arthur to kind of fix everything that Dr. Montague is doing wrong, because I know more than he does about all things, apparently, but especially about spirits and getting them to do what they need to do and bringing them out and making them feel loved and wanted so that they can share their stories and set them free. So I'm a very kind of a cross between maybe B. Arthur and Facts of Life.
Charlotte Ray?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I was trying, Mrs. Garrett.
Yes.
Yes.
You know both of them. You know. Charlotte Ray and B. Arthur. You know.
Golden Girls.
Oh, Golden Girl.
Yes. The tall one. Yes. Yes.
And of course, you're doing this under the direction of Aaron Taylor, who we just interviewed.
Yes.
And this is part of Hardin County Playhouse's new season.
It is. And I'm very excited because it's my first role on stage in 20 years.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yes. And my last show was with Hardin County Playhouse. So I'm finally getting out from behind the director's table and out from behind the lighting board and getting back on stage. So very exciting.
And it's an interesting transition. I was sharing with Ethan and Joseph earlier. I got to do a role in Young Frankenstein a couple of years ago, and it had been a while since I had been on stage. Two reasons. One, I feel like when I'm on stage, it's taking away the opportunity for someone else to be on stage. And I didn't know how rusty I was. I didn't know if I could really do it after so many years.
Yes, the memorization was terrifying.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because it's like that part of my brain has been shut off for 20 years, and can you restart it? But I thought that it was important for me as a director and me as an educator to get back out there and remember what it's like to be on stage and to have that pressure and to have to get the lines memorized, and also the experience of working with a new director and seeing how they do things, because you kind of get in a rut of this is how I direct. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I do it. And now seeing somebody else and working under them, it's just adding things to the toolbox, as we put it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you were talking about that earlier. When you learn a different dance style or you work with a different director, you learn new tools for your toolbox too, right? Like puppets this time around. Yeah. Carmen, how can people learn more about this new program with the Elizabethtown School System?
We have actually launched the Elevate program for the Elizabethtown Independent School System, as we are working towards what the next phase of the entire district is going to look like. So getting involved in that would be a wonderful way to be part of growing the arts in the district, as well as other aspects. And you can learn about that on the district Facebook page and the district website. We will be posting more about the arts specifically on the Elizabethtown Performing Arts Center page, Facebook page, as well as upcoming events. As we get the school year going, we'll start having concerts and shows and all of that.
That's how it works.
That's
Absolutely.
How it works. They got to have time to learn.
Ethan, do you have anything else you wanted to ask Carmen before we wrap up?
Nope.
I think she covered things pretty well, right?
Yeah. It's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet
I
you
can't
too.
wait to see Beauty and the Beast.
As I shared in my last blog, this year's Pro-Am musical, Beauty and the Beast, is about the transformative power of love. This particular production owes a great deal to the transformative powers of an incredible team of creative artists and performers who are bringing this Disney classic to life in new and inventive ways. If you follow this blog, you already know that all the enchanted objects in the castle are brought to life by both actors and puppets simultaneously in a unique storytelling technique greatly inspired by the Lion King stage show. Further influences reflected on stage would include nods to the work of M.C. Escher and the Jean Cocteau film version of the fable, hugely influencing the Disney animators. In fact, much of this show has been reconceived by our choreographer Sherry Bernard and myself to tell this story in brand new ways, with a set built to keep the story moving and sound and light design by Aaron Taylor that will move you emotionally like never before. So be ready to be swept up in the action as it overflows the stage right into the audience. The costuming you'll see is the result of 2 years of planning and building and a lifelong love of this story by our costumer, Allison Lovins, who has assembled an extraordinary team of students and adult volunteers to build over 100 costumes, many from scratch, while the rigorous musical direction by Kim Strange reflects her love of the original Menken and Ashman score. But more than anything else, you will be won over by our talented amateurs and professionals, ranging in age from middle school to middle-aged, who will hail from Hardin and surrounding counties, as well as the Louisville area. They include faces both familiar and brand new to our stage, who have performed professionally at Stephen Foster and around the country. Tickets are on sale now and going fast for this once-in-a-lifetime, not-to-be-missed PAC Pro-Am production. And with that, we wrap up this month's monthly Marquee. Go to thepac.net for your tickets for Beauty and the Beast, and I will see you here next month.
Is Wednesday really gonna marry that guy?
She might.
Oh no. Make me feel better, Mommy.
Life is a tightrope, my child, and at the other end is your coffin. Better.
Papa? Thanks, Mommy.
Now close your eyes and let's come out and eat you up. Huxley? Huxley? Sleep well, my little vermin. Your mommy's life has fallen apart and she has to go away for a while. And years from now, when your marriage collapses, and you want to know who put us all on the road that we're on, you can thank your father. Take care of my baby, will you? Keep him in harm's way.